Roads, but in the meantime, we do want to get to breaking news and the protests that are planned today after an ICE agent shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis. This is a live look from the scene. This is right now. It happened Wednesday morning near 34th and Portland Avenue, and you can see people are still gathered there at this hour. A memorial is growing there for 37-year-old Renee Good, who we're learning was a mother of 3 and had recently moved to Minnesota.
So far, the protests have remained for the most part peaceful, but this morning we know Minneapolis students won't have classes the rest of the week out of an abundance of caution. And Governor Tim Walz has put the Minnesota National Guard on standby.
We do have live team coverage for you on this Thursday morning. Brandy Powell is breaking down witness video we have. Kelsey Christensen is live at the federal building where a new protest is planned to start in about 30 minutes.
First, though, Bailey Hurley joins us live at the scene where overnight the community came together for a vigil. Bailey.
That's right, Chris and Megan. The demands for answers, accountability, but also the demands for ICE to leave Minnesota are ringing loud and clear from these protesters. These conversations, though, these demands really all coming while at the same time these protesters and demonstrators are keeping Renee Good at the center of it all. She's the 37-year-old woman who's described by her own mother as, quote, one of the kindest people I've ever known. She's a mother of 3, other loved ones describing her as a devout Christian who is not part of any activist movements. Her family also saying that she had recently moved here to Minneapolis from Kansas City.
I think today what happened in here is unacceptable. You must take back ICE. You must take back all of this. What is the terrorism that we're looking at it? This young woman who are really now, we all don't know why she's been killed.
Several demonstrations are planned in and around Minneapolis today, more likely to pop up as the day goes on. Again, a march is going to happen quite soon at the federal building in Fort Snelling. That expected to start again within the next 45 minutes. Another protest planned for this evening on Lake and Chicago. At least 2 news conferences from community, faith, elected leaders, as well as civil rights advocates also planned for this afternoon. Civil rights activists demanding ICE identify the agent involved yesterday, that agent be fired, also demanding all video to be released immediately. Now, this scene here, it's quite quiet compared to what we saw here yesterday afternoon, even last night. Things, only about 15, 20 people here gathered around a campfire. The vigil does continue to grow. That's just down the block from where we're standing right now. If you live in this area, you're already probably familiar that 34th and Portland is closed. It's also closed to 35th and even down to 33rd and each way down Portland about a block or so. So if this is somewhere that you're driving later this morning, later today, just keep that in mind. It's unclear when these roads are going to open back up. On top of that, we have yet to see any police presence around here, both federal or local. We're continuing to see how long that lasts. Of course, though, things are very quiet here at this scene of where this all happened so far. Megan and Chris.
Okay, Bailey, thank you. Kelsey Christensen continues our team coverage live from the Whipple Federal Building near the airport where there is a protest planned to, and it looks like people are already gathering there right now, Kelsey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That protest is planned for 7 o'clock, but about 40 protesters are here right now just in the parking lot. They just showed up about a few minutes ago. They're going over their organization tactics right now, just meeting each other. I just heard them talk about de-escalation tactics and what that's going to look like here this morning. So we're seeing, again, about 30 to 40 people, I'd say, just showing up within the last few minutes, but we are expecting a lot more people to show up given that this protest is scheduled for 7 o'clock this morning. So still have about 25 minutes for people to start showing up here at the federal building. But that is right. You mentioned 2 very different accounts of what happened yesterday, but there is video of the scene from a few different angles. Governor Tim Walz says he's seen that video and says, quote, "Don't believe this propaganda machine," referring to DHS. He also says President Trump is governing by reality TV and that recklessness costs someone their life. Walz is also saying the state will ensure a full investigation with accountability and justice. Listen.
To Minnesotans, I say this: I feel your anger. I'm angry. They want a show. We can't give it to them. We cannot. If you protest and express your First Amendment rights, please do so peacefully as you always do. We can't give them what they want.
Now, on the other hand, Homeland Secretary Security Kristi Noem is saying the ICE agent acted in self-defense against what she is calling an act of domestic terrorism. She says the driver, quote, weaponized her vehicle and that the agent was injured in that incident. Listen.
Deadly force is perfectly lawful when a threat is faced by a weapon. This officer used his training in this situation, and we'll let the FBI continue the investigation to get it resolved.
You heard it from Noem right there. Investigation is underway by both the FBI and the BCA here in the state. But again, here behind me, this protest just starting to get underway here. It is slated for 7 o'clock at the federal building. The reason it is at the federal building here at Fort Snelling is because that is where ICE primarily operates out of here in the Twin Cities. We'll be here all morning. I'm going to go talk with them and see what their plan is. We'll check back here in about a half hour over on 45 TV. Guys.
Okay, Kelsey, thank you for that. We do now want to take a closer look at those videos showing what led up to the shooting and the moments right after. We have a couple of different angles.
Yeah, so our team coverage continues this morning. Brandy Powell is here to break down these videos, Brandy, that are really at the center of this all.
Yeah, Chris, Megan, good morning. So we want to warn you at home, these images are difficult to see. Just seconds after federal agents pulled up to this SUV here, blocking a single lane of traffic, the encounter turned deadly. Onlookers screamed in horror. The agents ran up to the car that then crashed into parked cars there. We now know the driver, Renee Good, was shot in the head. The key issue over whether the 37-year-old mother made contact with the agent remains an open question. This vantage point that we have isn't quite clear. There are other views. It appears perhaps they were close, but it's not entirely clear. A former FBI agent tells 5 Investigates if there's body camera video, that will likely be key to seeing the officers' perspectives.
The video that I saw, it didn't tell the whole picture. It seemed to be obscured. The legal question is whether the officer's use of force was justified, and it can be to protect their own life or to protect the lives of others. And that is certainly something the investigators will be focused on.
Those 5 Investigates compared state and federal use of force policies. Here's what we found. Both prioritize de-escalation and minimizing harm, but they do allow for deadly force if there's a reasonable belief of death or serious bodily injury. We'll keep tracking what unfolds. Chris, Megan.
Okay, thank you, Brandy. Of course, we are going to continue to monitor the latest on this breaking news story, what comes next in the investigation by the FBI and the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. Find the latest updates here while we're on the air and straight to your phone with the KSTP mobile app.
Now,